Okay, thanks for that. We're now in week 3 of Humanity in the 21st Century. Sorry about this introduction, but it's on tape. It'll go onto video. It'll go onto YouTube. We'll be famous. All of you will be famous. This Tute is about time, and to my mind is one of the hardest and most interesting of all the Tutes. Time is an amazing thing. Anyone here doing physics? Okay, theory of relativity, the Big Bang, you know all about that. How long ago was the Big Bang, do you remember?
13.3 billion years ago.
You're a physicist. I would have said 14 billion roughly. 13.7. They keep changing by a couple of millennia, but that's sort of 14 billion. How long have humans been on this planet? Humans like us, our species. Sorry, I'm jumping out of your range. Oh, you're turning it around. Thank you. How long have humans been around? 200,000 years. Keep on memorising that. Could have been 150, it doesn't matter. That sort of order. How much is 200,000 as a fraction of 14 billion? Yeah, I don't know. I can't even picture it. It's nothing. Please?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'll shut up soon.
No.
But one really good way is, I don't know if you guys have heard of the world clock, which is like the history of the world, and it's like recorded on a clock. But a good way to try and picture is that all those billions of years are like on a clock hand, and we're 5 minutes to midnight. Okay. So that's like the proportion that we've been on the Earth in retrospect to the.
Right. I suspect it's even a lot smaller than that.
Yeah, it's like 5 or like.
Yeah. All get your own analogies, because the important thing about thinking about time is to realise that humans are pretty puny in terms of time. We think we're an amazing species, and we are. We dominate the planet. Will we continue to dominate the planet? Ever heard of a cockroach? How long do you reckon cockroaches have been around?
A long time.
Okay, a long time, that'll do. I can't remember, 350 million. Compared with a cockroach, we're nothing. We don't even know whether we as a species have got longevity. We don't know whether we're going to be around in another couple of 100,000 years, or indeed another 100. Nobody knows whether intelligent life is in itself a viable entity which can live for millions and millions of years. We don't know. And we need to think about that. So time is the essence. Next week, we're going to look at evolution of humans, a much more smaller amount of time, and think about how we evolved. But today I want to give you the wonder of time. You went to school? Were you bored sometimes? What bored you most? Sorry about it. Don't say mathematics, whatever you do.
I don't know. Being there. Some classes.
Okay, some classes. Time moved infinitely slowly. Infinitesimally. Is that right? It seemed to go on forever. Other times, time just goes like that. So although time might have a tick-tock, tick-tock, personally it doesn't. You're alive. Will you be alive in another 100 years? Hopefully. A lot of people say they don't want to be alive in 100 years. How about you?
Probably not.
Do you want to be?
Don't know. I feel at that time.
Well, you better start thinking, because that's what this class is all about. What would be a reasonable amount of time to live? If I gave you the opportunity, and the opportunity is almost with us now, of living to be 100. I'll probably live to be about 90 if I'm lucky, which is not very far away. The argument is that you people will live even longer. Every generation we seem to live a bit longer because we've got better medical health and everything else. A lot of people argue that pretty soon humans should be able to live to 100, not a problem. Indeed, they might be able to live a lot longer in a fair state of health. How much longer would you like to live?
I don't really want to live as an old person.
Well, I can tell you it's not that bad.
Well, it depends how fair state of health it is. If I'm falling apart, I don't want to be alive.
Okay, so function of health and mental health, but if we could assure you that you could live to be 1,000 with good physical and mental health, and that's not impossible. The scientists are talking about this as a possibility now, and I suspect within 100 years or earlier, it might be possible. Would you like to live to be 1,000?
Not 1,000, because the world's just gonna just destroy itself, I reckon. Like, not just for myself, but like.
Okay, so you don't want to be around 1,000 years because the world might be a shocking place to live. Is that the idea? But surely this is what this unit's about, or the other unit, Human Action for World Futures, to make sure we've got a decent place to live in 1,000 years' time. Okay, look, I'm loosening you up a little bit to think about time. A lot of people argue, no, I do not want to live to be 1,000. And I can express it this way, and you don't have to believe me, but every morning I get up and the first thing I do is I look in the mirror and I say, gee, I love you, Neville. You are beautiful. And I could have done that for a day or a year. After about 10 years, I think, oh, no, come on. I'm getting bored. I can have all my hobbies. And after about 50 years, I'm bored. Please don't take this the wrong way, because my wife might hear about it. I could be married. And I am. And I'm very happy about that. 45 years is fantastic. What about another 1,000 years? I doubt whether I can do it. I doubt whether I can even live with myself. I begin to hate myself, bored. And there's novels written about this. I keep forgetting the playwright, The Age of Methuselah.
Not playwright. I think Herman Hesse you were talking about before.
It could be Herman Hesse, but this particular playwright, Age of Methuselah, and he postulated that people lived on and on and on. And the final conclusion was that God, when we sinned, God made us mortal. We no longer had everlasting life. Not true. The biggest curse on human could be everlasting life. You're doomed, you're damned to everlasting life. I think I'm probably pushing you too far. Yeah.
When you're born, you're taught to have this concept of time where you're only going to live less than 100 years, let's say.
Sorry, could you just repeat that? That's good thinking.
When you're born, you're taught this concept of time where you're only going to live like 100 or so years or less. But if you were taught that you're going to live 1,000, wouldn't you have a different concept of time and not see it as such a long time?
Very well put. I tried to say that, but I didn't say it so well. It's fascinating. 100 years ago, people were lucky to live the age of 50, and they thought that was normal. They were very happy. Sorry about this. You're going to die when you're 55. Are you upset about that? Oh. Somehow or other, can I give you a different answer? Somehow or other, we got the expectation that if I die at 50, I'll feel cheated. I should be allowed to live for 80. An entitlement. What the hell does that mean? Gradually, we build into our psyche that it's reasonable to expect a certain number. But if that number changes, you're quite right, the way we live life and what we do might radically change. So we're thinking about personal time. Has anyone here been to jail? You're not going to lose marks, come on. Okay, what do we often call going to jail? We take doing time. Anyone went to school and they weren't very nice? They played up a lot. You're sent to a corner. Time out. Remember that? So many different ways we use this word time to mean different things at different times. Can't get away from that word. What I'm trying to get across to you is time is ever so much more subtle and ever so much more part of our very being. It's incredible. Last week or the week before, we talked about history. Humans are one of the few, possibly the only creature who has a concept of historical past. Part of my being is my past, my youth, or my parents' past is part of me. That's a funny thing because I never lived, and yet it's part of my time concept. And I think all of you here, probably have an idea of the future. A lot of our work is doing things for some future that we won't even exist in. Future time, quite remarkable. Humans are strange, so time is not quite so black and white, tick-tock, as you like to think. Okay, all of that was merely to set up the notion of time so you can discuss your own personal time and think about what you want to do with time that makes sense to you. And in later weeks, we're going to try and look at humans as a creature, as a species, going into the future using humanity time, a group time. Happy with that? No, I've lost the place.
Well, the groups are going to look at the topic for posting this week,
Right. Well, we're going to do two things. We're going to get you to break up into little groups in your forum groups, talk about what we asked you to do in the tutorials, just for a little bit, for about 10 minutes. Then we're going to come back and move on to the second part of this tutorial. I'm sorry, we're going to have to truncate the tutorial, but we want to get you to start thinking about project works, which are very important. So get into your forum groups. Are you already in your forum groups? When you come in, try and gravitate in them already so you can get started. So your tutorial topic, I think we had listed for you.